you that don't know me, my name's Marcus Gleeden. I'm one of the founders of the club, was president of the club for about 10 years and handed it off to Johnny a couple of years ago. And he has done a phenomenal job. So John, thanks for taking that over and letting me do other things. One of the things that we have done, for some of you newer members, we hosted the U.S. Nationals in 2010, 2015, and 2019. Some of you may be aware, maybe you aren't, but there's been some turmoil at the United States curling national level. And they had almost basically told us that we wouldn't host any more events again. We're basically what we were getting back from Jeff Plush, the former CEO. He was ousted about 3 months ago, and about 2 days after that, Dean Gemmel, who is a friend of the club, called me immediately and asked if we would host mixed doubles. They were in a bad spot. Nobody wanted to help them. They were kind of left out there to their own devices. We were in the bidding to host the U.S. men's and women's this year in 2023. And to be honest, in July we pulled out on purpose because of the things that were going on and the way that they were treating member clubs. And so after that happened, because they had Dean back in there and because I think they're going to make some changes, we talked about it and we agreed to go ahead and do this. The good news is it's much more on our terms this year. In past, we've gotten nothing from it in terms of financial. This year we have our contract allows us 50% of the first $30,000 of tickets sold. So in fact, we'll actually make some money on this event. We've done 3 other events and we've made a total of 0 on all 3 prior events. So the USCA is realizing that Dean, for what it's worth, he's the interim CEO, but he's also a former athlete that is a national champion for the U.S. He's a former player in the Brier. He played in the Brier. He knows competitive curling. He knows curling at grassroots. And he knows that clubs like us need to support the national level, and the only way we can keep doing it is by them giving back and being more of a partner with us. And I can tell you, this has been amazingly different than the prior events. They were all good people, but they just left it to us to do so much. And this time I said, we can't do any of that. You guys need to be responsible for it, and they are. So it's been great. With that said, I want to show you guys a quick video, if it works. Hope it works.
Legacy technology don't get around.
Yeah, we don't, but it is Dean.
I was going to say that exactly.
All right, so that's those of you that don't know, that's Delaney Strauss. She's from Midland. She grew up in Midland. Mike Graves' old Midland club has come down here regularly to help us in our junior program. She now, her and her brother, Sam, the twins, both play at the highest levels for U.S. curling. So it's pretty awesome. So that's what it was in 2019. What we're hoping to do is duplicate something similar for our athletes here in 2023. Volunteer coordinators. We have a ton of volunteers that are going to be needed throughout this whole process, okay? So what we've done is we've kind of asked a handful of people inside the club to help us with tapping you on the shoulder, asking you to fill this spot or that spot. So it doesn't always have to be me or John. So now who they are. Dan Aberg is going to be in charge of merchandise and doors. So what that is at the gate we're going to be able to, they'll be taking tickets as people come in. They'll also be able to sell merchandise. So we'll be able to sell our own Kalamazoo merchandise as well as right next to it will be U.S. curling merchandise. For the first time since we've done this 3 different times, we'll actually get a piece of the action, meaning we'll get paid a little bit of that cost of selling their merchandise, which is pretty good. We've never gotten any of that before. They've always had a separate vendor that they always just did all that. So but the trade-off is we volunteer or we ask somebody to be there at the gate. Yeah, so that's pretty good. Arlene Carter is going to be in charge of officials and timers. For those of you that don't know, Arlene and Edward are certified level 2 officials. 2 of what, probably 4 or 5 in the region?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, not many. So they will be heavily involved. They will be out on the ice, just like they were for those of you that were here for our GLCA playdowns for our U18. They will be heavily involved in doing as much as they can that whole week. But she'll also be asking for people to help with timing. We need 4 timers for every draw. And we need 3 officials, 2 on-ice officials and 1 timing supervisor. So there's a lot of needs at the timing and officials group. Chris is going to be involved with hospitality. So what we're going to try and do, and she'll reach out to some of you guys, but we're going to need to keep this place clean, upstairs and down. That includes bathrooms, that includes down here vacuuming the walkways for the athletes as they're going out, and all the volunteers as they're going out to the ice. as much as we do a pretty good job here, you ain't seen nothing yet for those of you that have been around. I mean, it is after every draw, they're vacuuming, we're trying to keep everything, any and all stuff off the ice. This lower area will be basically all volunteer slash athletes, that's it. All people that are paying tickets will be upstairs, okay? But also, we're looking at doing hospitality housing, where actually we have incoming volunteers. We ask folks in the club if they, their house or their room, they have some availability where people can stay. If they're coming in for 2 days, instead of having them pay for a hotel room, they can stay at some of our houses, and we might get some more volunteers that way. Because we do have a lot of people inside this region that come in to help, and it just helps to defray the cost, because none of them get paid anyway. So if you can do that, Chris will be reaching out to you. We would greatly appreciate it. She's also going to need some help. Her list of volunteers isn't going to be on our formal volunteer sheet that I'm going to be showing to all you guys and sending out to everyone. So she's going to kind of be asking for that kind of on the side to try and make sure we're just taking care of things. So Colby and Ed Brzezinski will be on the ice crew. We will begin making the ice. The event itself starts February 28th, which is a Tuesday, runs through Sunday. Ends at, well, finals are at noon, so they'll be done around 2 p.m. We begin making the ice the prior Thursday, so Thursday, Friday morning. So what's that, 23rd I think it is. So we will need a whole ice crew like we normally do our normal ice install. We'll need 4, 5, 6 guys, almost pretty much 24/7. And when I say this, Sean Olson, who is the head ice tech, they literally are here at 2 in the morning and again at 4 in the morning and again at 6 in the morning. I mean, they stay right around the corner, but they basically have bunks in here and they're here all nonstop. Certainly, yeah.
What arena are we using for this?
We'll get right over there.
Okay.
Yep. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. So, so basically we'll be needing that for 5 days prior to the event, and then all the way leading up to the event. The last group is just John and myself. We're a local organizing committee. We're the ones who are on the phone calls with the USCA every week, working with Wings Event Center, working with our Discover Kalamazoo, working with the USCA and the head officials to make sure everything is going smoothly on our end here. So, with that said, Brian, you asked a great question. This event is going to be different than the last 3 we've done. The very first one, for those of you who aren't aware, we actually did it in 2010 over in the big arena. It was awesome for the athletes, but literally we had 600, 700, 800 people in there. It looked like no one was in there. So when Wings agreed to do it again, they wanted us over there again, and Wings said, no, that's not happening. And so as a result, in 2015, they moved it over here. So in 2015 and 2019, we did it over here in the annex, which really worked well. The overlook works well. The, whatever that thing is, the nest, I think. It was really a nice setup for it. It really is. But that would mean they'd have to shut all down their ice and everything like that. This year, in this contract, it was really, as I said, very impromptu, last minute. Wings has almost nothing to do with this. It is going to be on our sheet of ice. We'll have use of the overlook. Our ice will be taken, for those of you that have seen what it looks like, all of our sheets will be foamed out. There'll be foam on the outer edges of all of our sheets. There'll be the walking paths and everything like that. And then it remains after the season's over. All of it stays, and we have the use of that for the rest of the season. So it'll be pretty cool that we'll be playing on some of the best ice that's ever been in Kalamazoo. And our ice guys are going to get to learn from the best ice guys on our ice. So it's really going to help train them, give them a lot better insight into how we do this. Because when they've done it over here, it was always kind of just we're there helping. But here they're going to be, this is our equipment and this is our stuff. And so we're going to learn a heck of a lot more on how to hopefully get some even better ice as we go forward. Yeah, Brian?
Well, if they're gonna put in 5 sheets then, but we're only using 4.
5 sheets are going to be put in. One of them's for VIP and other stuff. That'll be sheet A. So sheet A will not be used for competition. B, C, D, and E will. Because the seating, there will be some seating, limited seating upstairs, simply because of the inability to see past whoever's sitting in front of you. And we are still working with Wings Events, or not Wings, sorry, USCA, about are we going to have separate pricing for upstairs versus downstairs. So the seating will be, I think right now one of the bleachers is down. I believe it was for the USCA. So all of those will be down. There's 6 of them. They say they can handle 300 people or 4, maybe even 600. I don't remember the number. It's not that important. But those will all be down right there where people are on the other side of the board. And that's where the seating will be. Sheet A won't be used. Sheet B through E will be used for the week. Yeah.
Are we gonna take the glass down?
Nope.
Nope.
Glass will not come down, but the, what do you call it? The netting will. Yep. The net's gonna come down. Yep. Yeah, they're gonna leave it down. Yep.
Are they gonna put new houses in, or are
Nope, they're gonna leave, they don't have the ability to, right? They just, they're coming in and they're taking our ice. The one thing we will do is we will put in some sponsors, they'll want their sponsors. We have the old USA logo, they're gonna cover that and put in their new one. But our houses, unless I'm reading Sean wrong, we don't have the time nor the ability, right? Normally they come in with hardly any ice and then they just build it up. This is already built up, they're doing the bare minimum to put in their houses, and to put them over ours would look really bad, right? So I am under the assumption that no, they're not gonna do any white painting that I know of, so unfortunately it won't look that great, because Wings doesn't know how to paint white. As you all see, there's gray everywhere. There's nothing I can do about that, but it's been a problem since the day we started out there, and they still haven't figured it out.
But part of that is also to minimize the impact on our leagues too. It's
Correct.
just a quicker, they'll still do a fantastic job, but it's like
Yes.
minimize the impact on our leagues.
Correct.
The week before.
Yep. So, any other questions about that? So who's in Sunday Jaeger or Sunday Sandlot League? Y'all will be playing about an hour and a half after the finals are done. You'll be playing your leagues on that ice. So, pretty cool, huh? And some people have asked, well, how do we maintain the ice? Same as they do, right? They're foam outlined, so it's real simple. We roll our scrapers roll right over it, and we just take care of the ice inside of each little sheet. So it'll be pretty easy. Volunteering. So we talked about volunteer coordinators. There's over 210 volunteer slots that need to be filled, which is about half of what we needed for the men's and women's nationals, but still a heck of a lot. They're about 3-hour slots. The beauty of mixed doubles, it's a quicker game, so your volunteer slot's about a 3-hour slot. There are 4 draws not every day, but most days. Tuesday is when we start the event. Tuesday we'll have practice in the morning, and we will have a 3 o'clock draw. We will have opening ceremonies, and we'll have a 7 o'clock draw. That's Tuesday. On Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we will have 4 draws. 8, noon, 4, and 8. Yeah, 8, noon, 4, and 8, I believe it is.
Does everybody know what Tuesday he's talking about?
Tuesday. There you go.
The last day of February. No leap year this year. No.
So, anyway, sorry.
Just want to make sure.
The day of the event.
Some people
starts.
are thinking, is this next week?
Oh, no, Tuesday the 28th of February. So there's quite a bit. That's 17 draws, plus then you have the playoffs on Saturday and the finals on Sunday. The finals will be 2 games. You'll have the gold medal game, you'll have the bronze medal game. And then on Saturday, there'll be 3 draws. Potentially a playoff, and then the 2, tiebreaker, and then the 2 playoff games. And then Sunday will be your finals. There are 16 teams, 32 participants. 16 teams, 32 participants. I think in that, in my announcement, I kind of named who was already approved, or who was already in. Right. Schuster, the Hamiltons, Plies, and Persinger, who was our Olympic representative last time. Dropkins in, the Anderson twins. I think one of them's already in, yeah, but I don't know if the other one is. I'm not sure. A lot of them. All of the top athletes in the U.S. are going to be right here. Yes, they're all going to be right here, which is really amazing. I kind of like it because it's half of the length. It's shorter. It's half of the work. So it's really kind of cool to get all those athletes. And I will say this, for those of you that have a chance, the more you're around here, the more you're going to get to meet them. They're wonderful human beings. And I would take every opportunity you can to be here to help, to volunteer, because they acknowledge it, they appreciate it. But you also get a chance to talk and we get to know them. It's really pretty cool. It really is. It's a great community of people. Let's see. So again, 210 slots that we need full. That does not even include what I just tasked Colby with, and that's the 5 days leading up to it, where we need about 5 people a day, all day, to get the ice ready.
Ice group people.
Yes, and that does not include the hospitality that we're going to need aside from this. Okay, so.
Up to the 5 days, because we'll need hospitality.
Right. So there's way more than just the 210 slots, but the 210 are really what we need in order to make this function, right? So we need, as I said, 4 timers for every draw. We need 3 officials for every draw. We need 3 ice people for every draw, and we need 1 to 2 people for merchandise for every draw, and at least probably one person for housekeeping and hospitality.
Can we talk about what timing was for those who don't know?
Yeah. So timing is really pretty simple. It is, we do what's called thinking time in the world of curling now when you're doing timing, and literally you're just gonna start a button, yellow or blue, or actually they'll bring in their own rocks. So all their rocks will be there, so yellow and red. And you will just start it whenever the other team's rock comes to rest, you start the opposite team's clock. They're thinking. While they're thinking, their clock is running. As soon as they throw a rock, boom, you hit it, it stops it, and then you wait until it comes to a complete stop. Then when it does, the other team's now thinking, you start the other team's clock. It's really, you just can't be ADD. That's why I shouldn't be a timer, but I will do it if I need to. It's not that hard to do. You'll also have a timing supervisor right behind you. It does. It requires the paying attention. And there will be a timing supervisor as well as 2 officials and 2 head umpires, or head umpire and assistant umpire, whatever. A lot of people that know what the heck's going on. And athletes, they'll let you. But the reality is anything you do as a timer isn't that big of a deal. It can be corrected. If you make a mistake, it's going to be noticed by someone. They're going to say, hey, we're going to add 10 seconds here. It can be done while things are going on. It's okay. So don't be afraid to do it. As far as the officials go too, we are going to have February 18th. That weekend, I don't have all the details, but the weekend of February 18th, the USCA has agreed to bring in somebody, Susie or Fred or somebody, to do a level 1 and a level 2 officials training. Depending on what you're looking at doing, you don't have to do these to be a timer, but these are things that, you know, Ed and Arlene kind of started and have taken on to and enjoy, and eventually we're going to see them in the Olympics as officials, right? So, right. But the point is, they're needed all over the region all the time, and it's kind of fun. It's a neat way to be a part of the game. If you want to be a timer, there's a way to get just a timer certification, and that is an online link that will give you. It's maybe 45 minutes to an hour, and you just it's just going over what I said in more detail, showing you how to do it. You download the app. It's very simple, but it just gives you understanding of it.
Really close
Yes.
access to the athletes.
Yes, it
So
does.
it's really fun
Yep.
way
To get to know them.
to get to know them.
And for those of you that have volunteered at past nationals, there's a couple things that we're not doing this year or this time around is statistics. And
Oh, by the way, one of my requirements, we're not doing
and no camera operation either, which was actually a pretty fun job.
And no on-ice observers.
No on-ice observers, right? There will be on-ice officials. And,
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
in a way, but
So
is
the
there
timers
gonna
will
be
be,
staged?
yeah, the timers will be staged over here on the back. Not multi-tiered. There's going to be one level, and that's it. Again, back to on ice.
On ice.
Right behind. Yep, right behind them. Thank you. Remember when I said we're hoping to get up to 45 degrees? That's 10 degrees more than it was. So let's hope we had some degrees up.
It'll be better than you expect.
But yeah, we will be putting in, I think it's a 2-foot level platform. It just simply gets some coaches, well, they don't have all coaches and the timers slightly raised, and that's it. And so that will be on the back side of the ice. Yep.
And we don't have to bring our own laptops or
Nope.
monitors.
They provide all of it. So all their equipment, they come in, they set it up. So.
If you are a timer, you will need to wear solid black. So if you're in an official capacity at all, that's non-negotiable. And that doesn't mean a brown coat or a navy coat, it has to be black. Completely.
And no logos as well, correct?
What?
No logos like Adidas or anything.
No logos, I mean, we'll take black tape, put them over your logos. We do have, that's only for level 2.
In the past, more than maybe. But anyway, okay, so if you volunteer, so let's just say you volunteer, we have, like I said, 8, noon, 4, and 8, right? We've got 4 draws every day. If you volunteer for the 8 a.m. draw, you get a ticket for the rest of that day. You can watch the rest of the event for the day. If you're gonna volunteer at the 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. draw, you can come in at 4 and watch. So your name will be on a list. The person who is at the gate will have your name, and you'll be allowed in without having to buy a ticket, okay? If you were to volunteer, and some people will, 50% of the draws, you will get a week-long, we'll give you a credential that allows you in and free roaming of the facility for the week, so you don't have to worry about it. So if you're able to give us half the draws, which is effectively 10 volunteer slots, then you would get we will give you guys a credential for the week. Let's see. Oh, I just straight done. Oh, in addition to the training that's available for timers, what we don't want you to do is be scared to do it. Any one of you that do it will be absolutely capable of it. Within 3 minutes, you'll understand it and won't have a problem. There'll be some times where you're like, whoa, what's going on? Again, it will be taken care of. But the head official is coming into town. He'll be in town, I think he said Saturday, and we will look to do an hour session with him on Sunday night or Monday night, because the event starts on Tuesday. This is exactly how we did it back in 2015. I think 35, 40 of us were up there being taught how to do it literally the night before the event started. So it's not that hard. We will have multiple ways for you to learn how to and get comfortable with how to be a timer. As well as you can go out to the timing app, and I don't know what it is, but we'll get it out there for people shortly. You can literally download it and watch a game on Tuesday night and do the timing. And they'll tell you how to do it, and you can follow it along. So, all right. Any other questions about? Yes.
Do you like have like multiple volunteers on?
Say that again.
Do you have multiple?
Absolutely. So,
Yes,
So,
as many as you want.
Arlene, I think, has already signed up for probably 12 and 13 of them. So is Edward, yes, correct. So is Peter Carlson coming down from Midland. So, absolutely, there are a lot of people that will do multiple slots. You can absolutely do more. 1 is great, 10 is better. As simple as I can get.
The toughest ones are
The daytime.
obviously the daytime weekday ones, because people have jobs. But that's where it kind of, we're trying to do a better job this time around with the, well, actually, I think it was your idea, Arlene, was to have, open some homes. Even if you just have a room and it's a single volunteer that comes down from Lansing or Midland, because the other clubs might have some people that can really help fill in those times. So if you don't have the ability to do the weekday daytime draws, but you have an extra room in your house and you want to host somebody, talk to Chris
And please understand, these are 12, 14-hour days, so you're not feeding them. They literally need a place to sleep and shower,
Yep, and they don't want to pay for a hotel room.
because most of
them
us
might.
have to pay out of our pocket. So it would, you know, and like Mitch wants to come down and do several timings, but if we could, yeah, we need to house, you know, it really is helpful. It's extremely helpful.
Okay, so
I'll put you up there.
and again, Chris will get out to everybody. You're gonna see, I guess, the other thing we should just say right now, there's gonna be a lot of Slack messages coming out. This is our only way to manage it at a high level to make sure we're getting the word out. Please, 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 and I know because you 30 are here, you don't ignore them. Talk to your friend who ignores them. Stop ignoring them. Please, just take a listen, watch, and read these things. We're gonna need more than the 30 of us that are here. It's as simple as that.
We're gonna start a new channel, right?
We normally do, and that's, I'm assuming we will. We'll start a Nationals
We
channel.
already did, so for those of you that are here and not already on it, it's the Nationals-2023 channel. We'll still have, as this event develops, we'll probably still have quite a few posts in the general channel with announcements and other
Begging.
information and begging. But, and we might, I don't know if we're gonna split the main, volunteer channel into smaller channels. That'll be up to whoever the main coordinator.
We did it last time, and I thought it worked great.
We did,
but
yeah, we had
at the same-
Nationals Ice, we had Nationals Timers, we might end up still doing that. That's kind of up to, the decision of the key leaders. But at least join the Nationals 2023 channel. That's where
restricted right now, John? 'Cause I just searched and it's not showing up.
it should be, yeah.
I got it.
That's just for you, Edward. Everybody else, we'll see you on that channel in 10 minutes.
Just to browse channels.
Yeah, if you browse channels, it's just Nationals-2023. There's 35 people in the channel right now, 36. I mean, just
It's real time.
37.
For what it's worth, the way you're gonna sign up, it's a little different this year. The USC, as I said, we pretty much pushed back on the USCA and said they have to do a lot of these things. So they created their own platform. It's got all of our time slots on there. It's got what we need, all of our needs. So you'll see if we need 2. If there's 2 people there, there's not gonna be a second slot or third slot for you to fill in. That is gonna be we'll send that out on Slack here shortly, like this evening, so that you can start filling it in. We wanted to let you guys kind of have your first dibs. Again, if you have daytime availability, I'm gonna beg you right here and now, please take those slots, because the other ones will get filled. I have no doubt that 4 and 8 in the evenings will get filled. It's the 8 and the noon ones throughout the week that are tough to fill. So if you can, please do that. But you guys will get first chance at it. We'll throw that out on our Slack channel. Whoever's in the 2023 Nationals, we'll send that out tonight so that you can start filling it in. You'll see it. It's broken out by draw, so you'll know exactly it's 3 p.m. is Tuesday. You want to help Tuesday at 3 p.m. or 7 p.m. that night. And then on down the line, okay? So you can fill in whatever slot. And then each one's separated by timer, ice crew, gate, and official. Well, I think it's timing supervisor and on-ice official. I think so there's different categories, but it's very simple to see. Any other questions about that?
On there, like if it's a noon draw, I think it said something like ice is like 30 minutes before, I mean,
So,
ice is
yep.
an hour, sorry.
Yep, and you'll get reminded of that pretty regularly as you start to volunteer. But yeah, if it's a noon draw, you need to be here. I think it's 30 or even an hour before. Ice is normally an hour. Ice is an hour, and everything else is 30 minutes. I think they actually, we like 45. So we can have Aaron change that. But
Yeah.
as you start to sign up, you're going to start getting information from Arlene or from Colby about, hey, you're on the ice crew. There's where we need to be there. But yes, you're 100% right.
I just want to make sure, because daytime shifts, it may make a difference. Like,
Yeah, no,
Right.
yeah, it's an accurate statement.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for timing, it's usually 30 minutes before the draw because you've got to get a radio and we have to visually look at you and make sure you're black enough. And
Well,
I
there's,
just-
well, there's pre-game practice as well, so they got it. And
Right, but
draws, so
the
they'd be timing that.
timers will.
No, that's just one clock.
Right, that's not for timers. They don't do that, the on-ice
Yes.
supervisor.
We're infiltrating from Grand Rapids and
Right.
don't have Slack.
So we can get you on Slack.
Give me,
We'll get you on
Can
Slack.
you,
I just created a channel in the Grand Rapids Slack that will try to pass information to Grand Rapids people.
Yep, awesome. So any of you that are on, we'll get you on it if you're
And I
not.
just added you and you
Yes.
to it.
Okay.
You're in it.
because
There you
he
go.
has Slack now.
Oh, he does, all right.
Yeah.
I have a Slack too. I would say, if anyone's not on Slack and you need an invite, you can come write your email down, I'll
We'll get you
invite
signed
you
up.
to Slack.
Hey, Marcus.
Yes.
I made sure to talk to the Dean of Advising over at Western.
Yes.
Good.
Good. And did any, okay, good, that's awesome. So that brings me to another bullet point here is, I've already tried to reach out to a number of people at Western. Darren now works there, so we're gonna try and see if we can get, students are required to do volunteer time. We just had the question from Mr. Doctor, where his daughter needs volunteer time. Well, heck, literally all of
We
our,
would love to
especially
use
our,
you.
if you're gonna do, maybe we, if we funnel some people to hospitality too. There's no curling skill or knowledge needed to do at least a third of the jobs that we need, right? And even those timing, honestly, really you don't need to know. So the reality is, we're gonna try and reach out. If you have any contacts at a high school or junior or middle school, see if ask or let us know. We'll ask, but say, hey, do you have any kids that, I know my son had to have 20 volunteer hours his senior year, part of his whatever it is now. So we're trying to get it at Western as well. So if you have any connections like that, please, because we can fill 20 or 30 slots with kids coming in to do ice or whatever else, it would be very helpful. As you're hearing the numbers, they're large, but they're not insurmountable. And Arlene already asked it. I think we already have 30 plus slots filled between 4 of us. So there's a lot of slots full, but there's a lot more to fill. Okay. So again, if you do, please send me a direct message or reach out to whoever that person is that you know in the school. If you're a high school teacher, great one, Krista at Vicksburg, is there somebody maybe we can talk to, a counselor or something? Yeah, so that's what it's gonna take. It's gonna take that reaching out and asking, saying, hey, is there anything that your kids need? We've got a great volunteer opportunity. And you get to say, by the way, they can meet Olympians, right? And see gold medals, right? 'Cause you'll be able to see it. They bring them. Wherever they go, they bring them. They understand that the people that are there are gonna eventually ask. I will say this, don't be shy about asking, because they just don't pull it out and say, hey, here's my gold medal. They do wait for you to ask them, then they very politely will take pictures with it and let you see it, so. Another thing too, just a quick update, for those of you that are well aware, we do stream all of our games now. And we are using what's called Curling Stadium. Curling Stadium just announced, and they were in the process of doing this, but it's formal now. They are partnering with the USCA, so they will be doing all of their web streaming going forward. This will be the first year they're going to stream 4 of their national championships. In the past, one, sometimes two, meaning US men's and women's, and the mix would sometimes get done by TESN. TESN, for those of you that aren't aware, were awesome. They would travel, they would be here. These guys would come in 3 days ahead, set everything up, and did a phenomenal job. But they were limited because they did it on the side because they loved it. Well, the USCA made the decision they need to get somebody that's going to be doing more and more of these events. So now they're going to have 4 of their events each year, at least for this year, and hopefully years going forward, but with curling stadium. So they will
We
be,
are a curling stadium.
and we are a curling stadium club, one of I think 3 and maybe 4 in the US now, which is great. But it was brought up too, for those of you who's been watching the streaming. Awesome, love it, love it. We are going to, yeah, when it's available. I will first apologize, I know there's been hiccups. Nothing I can do about it. I don't know squat about this stuff, except that it's very difficult to get the streaming done and then have the streaming go from here to YouTube, and there's all different things talking. I know nothing about it. But I can tell you that Curling Stadium is working on the bugs all the time, trying to figure it out, make things better. Some of it is just, oh, we changed and they didn't update it when we told them to. So there are some very simple ones, but there are also a lot more difficult ones. So they've also added where your name, your team's name should be on the bottom of your sheet. If your league manager has input names properly in time slots. So it's integrating, that's what one of the things they're doing, is they're integrating with Curling Stadium, we happen to use for our, Curling Manager, who we use for our website. So there'll be an integration. So it should get a little bit better. You'll see a little bit more of that as you go forward. So it's pretty cool. They are going to be doing announcing, so it won't just be static like our website is. That's what's called Tier 3. They'll be doing what's called Tier 1. So remotely, for those of you that happen to listen to it, what day did we do that? Last Wednesday. 3 of us jumped on there and made fools of ourselves and pretended like we knew what we were talking about and announced the game. It was absolutely a blast. I told Dan, I'm not going to say a word on it, but it was fun. I really enjoyed it. I think Jason was awesome. He's great at it, so he needs to just be the key guy. But it was fun. So they will be doing all that, except they'll also have control of all of our cameras where they actually can zoom them in and out and all this other stuff. They'll be, as somebody's delivering, they'll be zoomed in on it, they'll be zooming out, and then they'll go to the other end. So that's Tier 1. We don't have that or do that at our club. It's just they set up a Tier 3 level, and we can do commentating and things. So it'll be somewhat professional level commentating and streaming, similar to what you'd see for the Briar or say, whatever those big tournaments they have up down for Canada, Grand Slam. There you go, Grand Slam. And a lot of the talent won't be here. They'll be remote. The 3 of us that were doing that the other night, I was at my house, Dan was at his, and Jason was at his. We were not here. So it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to do. So that's an update on streaming as well as what's going to be happening out
And they're
there.
only doing calling one game.
So they'll call one
They're
sheet,
not.
but all 4 sheets will be streamed, so anyone can watch all 4 sheets. That's the
And
beauty of
Is there a feature?
They'll switch to another sheet if
Oh, they
something's
will?
going on, or maybe if there's, this game ends, they can switch it to another sheet.
Yeah, it's literally a change in the system. Okay, go to sheet B. Oh, they're all on in sheet B. So they can easily, and by the way, your camera angles don't change. That was the one problem they had here, right? They brought enough to do the one sheet.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden that game sucked or was over early and boom, they're starting to take this angle, or they're 2 sheets
Yeah.
over and the angles are bad.
Yeah.
So here you'll have all the same
Yeah.
camera angles for every sheet, and they can change it to whatever sheet they feel is the one that they need to get to. So yeah, they'll have the ability to change it. But also all 4 sheets will be streamed every
Yeah.
draw. So even if you don't have the key game, you can still watch the game without commentary. Yeah.
Will we have the ambient sound by then?
Probably not. It's up to Wings. Wings needs to do a couple things. Not much, but they've been a real pain. Since they were great getting it in. I met with them probably 4 or 5 times over the summer and a couple times here to get it installed. And they were wonderful, but ever since then, all we need literally to do is go unlock the door and plug something in upstairs. And the guy probably sent 9 texts. Won't even get back to me. So
Well, I can start with some checks.
that's true. Yeah, do it.
Nothing speaks like money.
Unfortunately, I just paid them yesterday, but the next check.
Go to cancel on it.
You need to get through a door, I'll get you through a door.
So hopefully, honestly, I've been busy with other stuff, so the ambient sound doesn't really matter. It really doesn't change what you're watching, so it's not a big deal, but it would be nice to have again. So,
Where's your television gear? when you're coming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Unless you're tiny.
Unless you're tiny.
Unless you're tiny.
Wear it and then have a black jacket to go.
Yeah, it's fun, you guys. It's so much fun.
So, we already covered the other couple items that I had on my list, so that's all I have. John, oh, there you go, John. There, that's what Sign Up Genius looks like. So there's your draws. That's the 9 a.m. draw on Wednesday, the 1st of March. We need 3 slots for ice crew. Timing supervisor is full with Mr. Peter Carlson. Gate, we need somebody to be at the gate. We need timers. 1 of 4 were filled. Todd Ellis is 1 of the 4. So that's what you'll see. You do need to sign up, right? When you get this link, you'll go in and it'll prompt you to sign up. Very simple. Even I could do it, so without a problem. So it's very simple.
And the gate is the one that includes, because it's right in the same proximity as the merchandise sales. So you're selling tickets and or merchandise.
Basically, at the beginning of the draw, half hour, 15 minutes before, people are going to be walking in the gate. Once that's done, you basically turn around, because you're going to be right up here at this door. You're going to turn around, and we're going to have a table full of stuff. That now you're there with the POS system. I think they use Square, and and we'll have our stuff and their stuff. We'll probably, and we'll go over it later in detail, but we'll probably have to have 2 different squares, one for us, but one for them, because we'll have our product that we're going to want to make sure we get the money directly, and their product. And then
And
again,
we'll have a short training or a video or something on how to do that if you don't already know how.
You know, there's an incentive to volunteer as a Kalamazoo Club member for your membership. So,
oh, yeah, gotcha.
you know, I mean, if you'd like to
Yeah,
get
for next
that,
year.
you know, this year, this is that volunteering.
Right.
Okay, maybe.
That's a year-to-year decision depending on what the board has to say
Well,
over the
but
summer.
we
But
need
yes.
volunteers, so.
But if the board decides to do
We've
it,
got
Yes.
1, 2, 3,
Might not be
4
6
board members
hours
here.
next year, it might be 10.
I think we
so-
can pretty much say we need it.
Yeah.
But that's a good point.
Yeah.
Neither here nor there. For those of you that have been here long enough, you know, this is a volunteer-run organization. Some of us spend way too many hours here, others spend what they can, and that we appreciate. So these are the certain events that we really need a little more help. That's what it comes down to. So. Any other questions? Wow, no, good.
Well done, sir.
Woo-hoo!
I am looking forward to it. Pretty cool. Pretty amazing. I talked to a number of the athletes, and they're really excited to come back. They love it.
Video from John was awesome.
That was,
Yeah,
that
that
was really cool. And
You just got that this afternoon, didn't you?
I did, yeah. So,
And
I had heard, what, was it Wednesday?
Yeah.
Or somebody said, yeah, Kirby said that, she was turning, I had said John's gonna be here to compete, right? That's what I told Chris. And I think either he said it wrong or somebody took it wrong, but it became a sort of a joke.
It was a running joke.
Yeah, right. So it became a running joke. So I figured, well, we'll get John here. I can do that.
But look
So I
how
texted-
well it worked. How many people showed up? You guys were
Right. So I texted John, I said, hey, can you do this? He said, absolutely.
We can't put these-
He's the one who got Delaney to do it, because he thought he was gonna get a bunch more, but they were all playing. Literally, I got the text, or I got it from him at 5:50.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I got you, man. So I'm like, hey, I got you more. Right. So anyway, that just gives you an idea of the type of people that are gonna be here. Again, here's an Olympian that cares about it, so. Yep, that's awesome.
Yeah, they're awesome.
They are. So, with that said, yeah, sign up, sign up, sign up. We'll send that out literally tonight. We'll post that, or John, if you
John,
want.
you already did.
If you post it
I
tonight.
just did.
Awesome, so it's already out there. So have at it, first come, first serve.
when
Yeah.
Edward and I were initially signing up for the Sign Up Genius,
Yep.
we managed to compromise not 1 but 2 credit cards.
Awesome.
Do you need to have a credit, if
No.
it's asking you for a
I
credit
didn't.
card,
No.
Well, I didn't use a credit card.
we hit the start button and managed.
There was an ad, there was a bad ad.
There was
Oh,
an
yeah.
ad.
Don't hit
It
the
looked-
ads.
It looked like the,
If it's asking you for a credit card,
Don't.
don't.
Abort,
put it
abort,
in.
abort.
I will say this, right or wrong, the USDA, this is the USDA system. They should pay the $100 a year to have the ad free. And I might suggest that, like, come
It's 80
yeah. How about we donate to them? So anyway, but it is very easy. Please, get in here and take a look.
I actually looked at this one and there was like the cost.
I think that's it. There's more, not more.
Grilled cheese pizza.
So whoever wants to go out and throw some rocks, by all means, go out and throw some rocks. If you want us to kind of look at your delivery and we'll give you some advice, might not be good, but we'll give it to you. I'll happily do that. Yes.
I actually put that down, but we will not be, we only have it.